So you know this. I think that the world has radically changed in the last maybe couple of years when it comes to nuclear. I think that policymakers, the finance community, the media, really the average person out there, they are all starting to realize that what we've been doing to address climate change is not enough. So nuclear has come back as a real, necessary, essential piece of the puzzle. And frankly, to me, climate change is just, well, not just, but a big piece of the puzzle. But something that many people don't always remember is that there is 800 million people in the world that do not have access to any kind of energy, clean, dirty, anything in between. So this is once again where nuclear is a huge opportunity to provide abundant, affordable 24/7 energy to all those people. And of course, that comes with the opportunities to progress, socioeconomic development, industry growth. I mean, so to me, nuclear answers all these questions, and it's good that policymakers and financiers and others are realizing this important.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think, it's a turning point for our industry, right? And I feel as though this is generational. Right? We're developing assets which are going to impact the future generations to come.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about that.
No, I think that you're completely right. I think that, if we are serious about meeting 3 times global nuclear capacity by 2050, which is a number. I mean, I think it sounds very ambitious, but in reality, is really not that ambitious. It's just maintaining 10% of the electricity coming from nuclear. So that's really not that ambitious. But okay, let's focus on that. 3 times nuclear by 2050. Clearly, we need all the talent, all the skills, all the good ideas, all the diversity, all the inclusion. We need everybody. So to me, it is absolutely essential that we engage, we inspire, we bring all the talent that is in the youth today to come to work with nuclear energy. And that sounds a little bit selfish. And so yes, we just need all this workforce. Yes, but it's much more than workforce. I think that to me there is 2 issues here that are truly intergenerational. So number 1, climate change. Climate change is probably not going to be a problem that I'm going to feel very hard in my life, but probably you, your children, your grandchildren, definitely you are going to feel it. So this is why it's incumbent into us, into the next generation and future generations to really, really work together to address this problem. And then at the same time, as we discussed, nuclear is going to be a key piece of the solution, but nuclear is a technology that is going to last for 100 years, for more than 100 years, which of course assumes that the experts of today, we need to exchange our knowledge with the experts of tomorrow and the experts of next week. So there is lots of expertise here that need to be exchanged. So to me, and notice that I said exchange, because that this is very important. Is of course there is lots of knowledge and experience that we more older people, I guess, we can transfer to the younger generation, but certainly there is much that we can learn. There is new ideas, new technology, new things. So to me this is essential. This communication in between generations, this team effort is absolutely essential.
Absolutely, yeah. I love that. The message of collaboration, right? And the more wise generations passing on the baton to the younger. So tell us a little bit about the importance of these young generation and nuclear networks that have developed across the world, right? Like we're at the International Youth Nuclear Congress. Tell us about your experiences contributing to these networks and how they played a role in your career.
Well, so maybe I'll tell you a little bit about something that 7 of us did in 1999, so yesterday. So this was different times, okay? So 1999, this was in the US, in North America actually. So the situation was where this was prior to the first nuclear renaissance. So really, it was not a lot of interest in nuclear. The nuclear industry was a little bit siloed, and we were just looking at ourselves. There were very few opportunities for young people, and frankly, new ideas weren't really particularly welcome, right? So at that point, the seven of us, we had this vision that we thought, number one, it was essential to bring new enthusiasm, new energy, communication techniques to the world to spread the good news about nuclear. So that was one of the things that we wanted to do. The second thing is we thought it was very important that when we talk about nuclear professionals, we go beyond nuclear engineers. I mean, for some reason, the focus always tends to be in technical professions, when in fact, you and I know that we need everybody. Yes, we need engineers, but we need economists, we need lawyers, we need communications experts, we need everything in between. So I think that we really wanted to do that. And then the last thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to unite the nuclear community beyond nuclear energy. So we thought it was very important to bring, the information about nuclear medicine, about nuclear food irradiation, about non-destructive testing, about how we use radioisotopes to clean the air or the water, all these things that people don't know. With all that in mind, we created the North American Young Generation in Nuclear. So that was 1999, as I said yesterday. And I will tell you, at the very beginning, we did get a few champions that were very supportive of our ideas, but there were a few other people that didn't really understand. So what's different? What's new? Why are you here? I mean, but very quickly they started to see the enthusiasm, the energy, and then the nuclear renaissance started around 2001, and then they noticed the same thing that we are noticing now, that we need more people. So what we did really ignited a lot of interest in younger people into get engaged in the nuclear energy industry. But I would say that more than that, at the time we started to have lots of outward-facing communications, and the impact was completely different. So, like for example, we started to go to the climate change conference. My first climate change conference was in 1999, again, yesterday. So we were doing a little bit what the young generation is doing today. So we were there, we were trying to engage with everybody, trying to explain to them the true facts about nuclear energy. I don't know that it was as successful then as it is in 2023, 2024, but I definitely think that we made an impact. I mean, from the point of view of the industry, I think that most CEOs, most CNOs at the time, for sure, they recognize the value of what we did with North American Young Generation in Nuclear. And then at the same time, IYNC, International Youth Nuclear Congress, was created almost at the same time. It was almost simultaneous, which it had a much more global point of view. And NAYGN, we work very closely together with colleagues and IYNC. And again, this was how important it is to be apolitical, to be global, to bring the different cultures, the different points of view of everybody in the global nuclear community together to actually move forward the energy, the community, not one technology, not one country. So I think that these youth organizations are essential for our industry. It's essential to bring the new ideas, the enthusiasm, well, frankly, the skills, the expertise, the new technology into our industry.
What is something that they can showcase the management or industry leaders that, hey, listen, I'm actually developing, this is a developmental opportunity? What would you say to that?
Well, I think it's several things, right? So we need to understand that managers, very often, they need to see the value back to the organization. So I think that it's incumbent into all of us when we say, okay, we want to do this, or we want to travel to this event, or we have this project idea, whichever that is. I think that we need to articulate very clearly to our managers why is this important for the organization. Yes, I, as an engineer, as a communicator, as a lawyer, as a whatever, I'm going to develop my skills. But this is not just for me. This comes back to the organization, and this is how. So I think that we need to articulate that, how this impacts back the organization, how these networks that I'm creating are going to help me do my job better. I mean, I'm going to be able to call the right person, which I wouldn't last week because I didn't know the right person. So I think that I think it's incumbent to all of us not just say, I want to go to this event, but actually articulate this is why whatever you are investing in me going to this event is actually going to come back to the organization and pay back 1 trillion times.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think you need to craft that value proposition.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, and I think one great thing about the IYNC is not only the young generation of nuclear networks, but we're also seeing the industry associations and organizations, like the IAEA, like this conference was hosted alongside the IAEA.
Right.
We have, yourself from the World Nuclear Association and your colleague.
I mean, we have one of the World Association of Nuclear Operators that was kind of co-organized or co-cited, so that's also very important. One thing that I would also say is important is, in the spirit of these intergenerational goals that I think we should have, it is important to actually bring into the sense and the value of this to all your colleagues. So we younger people are going to do this, you more experienced people don't belong here. I think that we really need to make sure that we tie what we do back to our colleagues, because and whatever we learn here, we share with everybody, not just with the younger crowd, but with all the colleagues. We really need to make these opportunities all-inclusive, intergenerational, as we were saying, so everybody feels that even if I don't get to go to this conference, I know that when Osama comes back, I'm going to be a part of the movement.
The young generation cannot do this without the existing experts and leaders, right? It's that wisdom and that knowledge that's being passed down. So I absolutely agree. It's that collaborative approach.
Right, exactly.
So what excites you? I think right now there's so many exciting announcements in the industry. It's hard to keep track, right? Like nuclear finance is the more exciting hot topic.
This is what we just did on Monday, right? That we had 14 major global banks and financial institutions that came together with the 25 countries that already pledged to triple global nuclear capacity. So these financiers came together with us to say, okay, we'll put the money, or we'll make it easier for nuclear to get the money. So that's very important. So no, I think that you're right. I am excited about seeing new-found pragmatism also in the financiers. I mean, they're starting to look at what are the right frameworks, what are the right opportunities, how will they risk financially these projects. So that's very important. So that excites me, as we said, excites me to see all these countries that they have found, again, pragmatism, realism, and they have actually gotten their calculators out, and they have seen that is just simply not possible to achieve net zero in a manner that is cost effective and equitable without nuclear. So those things excite me. And now the thing that excites me more is to actually see how in the nuclear industry we are starting to wake up to this reality. So we really need to recognize that this is a unique moment in history where we really need to jump in and first of all invest in ourselves, develop our capabilities, industrial capabilities, workforce, supply chain. Essentially, we really have a unique opportunity to deliver on time, on budget, at scale, with the urgency that is needed. So that excites me when I see some of our leaders, some of the young people, everybody in between, and say, okay, what do we need to know? Let's roll up our sleeves and let's get things done.
Yeah, let's roll up our sleeves and get things done. I think that's really powerful statement, because now we need to act. We actually need to do the top. We need to do the work.
Exactly. So talking is good. We've done it. I mean, people have started to listen, but now it's time to get things done.
So is that happening? Like, do you see that happening?
Well, I think that there is a few very successful projects. There are a few things that are starting to happen. Obviously, I think that is incumbent on the entire global nuclear community to make sure that these few, the first movers, they are as successful as they need to be. So I think that we all need to help, even though we may not be on the trenches building that reactor or doing that research or putting together that contract, that mine. Maybe we are not doing this, but I think it's important that we all as a community are supportive and communicate and bring continuously visibility to the small and big successes that we are seeing every day. So that's the first step. But of course, more needs to happen. Clearly, as you know, tripling global nuclear capacity by 2050 means 40 gigawatts of new nuclear every year for the next 25 years. Okay, so those are numbers, but let me give you more clarity what that means. So 40 gigawatts per year is, I mean, let's assume that half of that is large reactors and the other half is SMR. Just, why not? Back of the envelope calculation. So that is 20 large reactors every year and 70 small reactors every year for the last 25 years. So clearly, we definitely need to roll up our sleeves and get the work done. I mean, we have lots of work to do.
Absolutely. And, going back to your statement of, celebrating those successes.
Yeah.
We're in a nation which, to be honest, has that get stuff done attitude.
Yeah.
Right? These 4 units, 1,400 megawatts each.
25% of the electricity in the UAE comes from those 4 units. The biggest carbon-free facility in this part of the world. No, it's a huge success. And there is so many things that is good to highlight from the UAE. I mean, first of all, of course, the project delivery. I mean, clearly well done, on time, on budget, and frankly, even beating the fastest expectations. I mean, so this has been happening from 0 to 25% in 14 years. That's not nothing. That is a huge accomplishment. But also the major, I mean, there is so many things about this project that are unique. I mean, like, for example, talk about Intergenerational. So they have developed an entire workforce of very young people, very diverse people. I mean, so very inclusive, very diverse. Yes, they've been very good to collaborate with international colleagues to learn from everybody. So they are truly a global community, but they have made an effort to have their own young people workforce that are going to take these 4 units for the next 40, 60, 80, whatever, many years. So I think that this is a great success. And the other thing, as I said, is the international collaboration. I mean, they were never shy. They were always very humble. Okay, we don't know how to do this. Could you help us? Come here and tell us. We want to be successful, so we are willing to learn from everybody. And I think that's quite something.
Yeah, and I think it's really brave of them.
Yeah.
This new nuclear frontier. I think after Chernobyl, there was only a few nations that signed up to go nuclear, right? UAE, Romania.
Yeah.
There's a few others now, right?
Right.
Added to the list.
Things are changing, but certainly, I mean, I think that the UAE, when they came in 2008 and they said, oh, we are going to do this, I don't know how many people took them very seriously. I mean, if you talk to His Excellency Mohammed Al Hamadi, he will tell you that at the very beginning, bankers were looking at him like, okay, I don't know about this. Mm-hmm. Clearly, the situation has now changed, right? So, no, they were quite bold, but again, it was not just bold statements, but pragmatic, real actions, which is what we really need now.
Absolutely. So, going back to the youth, how do we foster that sense of get things done attitude? Mm-hmm. How do we create that momentum? So, what are your lessons and thoughts for the youth and the young generation that are taking on the next steps to create these, build these units ultimately? Yeah,
no, so to me there is several things that I would highlight. So first of all, I think that while it is true that younger generation people, they come with new ideas, new technologies, new concepts that perhaps people more experienced didn't have access to. I think that the first thing that I would do as a young person is to really soak up as much as I can from the existing experts, because while perhaps we would go about doing things differently moving forward, it is very important to know everything about how things have been done in the past. If nothing else, to know what not to do. Sometimes that's very important. So I think that I would not miss any opportunity to learn, to actually become again, a part of a team, including the existing experts, the current generation of experts. And then the second thing that I would say is many times young people are going to have very good ideas. They are going to identify a problem and they are going to raise their hand and say, well, this is really not working. So to me, what is important in those cases is, yes, it's good to identify the problem, but come also with the solution. So be a source of solutions, not only a source of problems. And it may be that the solution that you provide is not the one that is ultimately implemented, but that's okay. You identify a problem, you came up with a solution, and then you work together with others to actually improve on the solution that you provided. So I think that that's very important, to be ready to come up with the solutions for the problems. And then the last thing that I would say is always tie it back to how it impacts to everybody else. It's not just about you. Yes, you want to develop yourself professionally. Yes, you want to, move up in your organization or in the industry. Yes, you want to achieve your career goals. But don't forget that this is part of the entire industry. So yes, you can achieve all those things while at the same time making sure that your organization, your team, the people that you work with also advance and move forward.
Great message for the youth. Yeah, like holistically making those contributions, bringing new ideas to the table, but also utilizing the tried and tested, right? Tried and tested tools and techniques that are out there.
So build upon that. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but we cannot simply dismiss it.
Do you ever think about the next generations that are going to come? I know there was a gap in between, those 400 nuclear power reactors that were originally built.
Right.
And the renaissances that never really took place.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a gap.
There is a little bit of a gap in between different generations.
What do you think will look like with the world's energy needs? So many crises, economic crisis, climate crisis.
Yep.
What will that look like? What will that challenge look like for the new generations to come?
I hope. This is my hope, and I think that it is up to all of us to make this happen. Let's avoid having all these gaps in between generations. Then let's make sure that there is continuity. Let's make sure that we don't wait 10 years, 15 years to actually launch this next round of nuclear energy. So that's going to make sure that there is continuity. And frankly, to me, what we are doing right now is so important. Seriously, I do have things that do keep me up at night. Is, if we don't do what we need to do today, I really think that future generations, your children, your grandchildren, will look back on 2023, 2024, and will say, what were you thinking? Why weren't you working harder to make this happen? So to me, that is really what keeps me awake at night, that we don't realize the enormous moment in history that is on our shoulders, and we really need to make it a success.
Definitely. Yeah, they will definitely have to pay the price if we don't succeed.
Exactly, because it's what we said. If climate change continues to evolve in the wrong direction, it will be future generations who suffer it. If countries that don't have access to energy today continue to live in the same energy poverty, well, those generations will continue to live like that. So it is really incumbent up to us today to actually do something. We cannot wait, okay, well, somebody else will do it next year.
Yeah, I think this dialogue is really important because Sama brings in that sense of urgency, but also it's a call to action.
Exactly. The time is now.
The time is now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I really enjoyed this discussion. I think I'm going to leave inspired from this chat. Do you have any last messages for the audience?
Well, no, I think that really my big message is exactly that. The time is now. Each of us is going to contribute differently to this huge effort that we need to do together as a nuclear community. The role of each of us may be different, but the work needs to happen today. So no pressure, but we really need to do it. So yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, thank you so much, Sama. Really appreciate this chat, and looking forward to staying in touch with the World Nuclear Association. If you guys want to check out more about this organization, it's fantastic. It has a credible information library that you can check out, and a lot more other resources. So World Nuclear News and many other initiatives by them in the description
World
below.
Nuclear University.
World Nuclear University as well.
Exactly. So where we are trying to inspire and prepare the next generation of nuclear leaders. So maybe many of the people that are listening to you will be part of that. So no, I think so. We are doing our part, and hopefully everybody else will do their part.
Absolutely. Well, thanks a lot, Sama. Really appreciate this chat.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.